All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Tuesday, August 20th. I've been out all day, so I'm only getting to play the crossword now, 8:20 at night. Let's see how I do. Oh, it's set today by Chaos. I can't remember if I get on with Chaos or not. We'll see. Penny wears fake Rolexes to impress Romeo, Cook, and Drake. Well, I immediately think Romeo is going to be an R. Fake might be an anagram of Rolexes, and maybe we put a P for penny inside. And then I'm thinking the definition is Cook and Drake. I'm thinking of Captain Cook. What was his first name? I can't think. And Sir Francis Drake. They would be explorers, so I think we have all the constituent parts. So I think just impress Romeo is the only funny thing I'm not 100% sure of. But I'm thinking here to impress it means maybe to surround it or that the Romeo goes inside it somehow. I don't follow that exactly. We might see if anyone says anything at 15 squared about that. All right, it's most important you and I gain 81 stone. I'm thinking the definition is it's most important. I'm thinking you and I is going to be we. Oh, and something that is the most of anything is probably going to end in EST. And I think the ST is going to come from stone, the abbreviation. Oh, in fact, I think this E is probably for we. And then inside it, we literally spell out 8. And then we put I for 1. Again, it's one of the tricky things you have to get to grips with as a beginner is just because we read 81 as a single number. And, I might have spent some time trying to remember the Roman numerals for 81. But we can always break things no matter how wedded together they are. We've seen that in the lift and separate type clue where you have to break a word apart. Here we have to break the number 81 apart. All right, during fitting, queen's certain to lose small opening. During, to me, sounds like a word play that maybe we're going to put the queen is probably ER, Elizabeth Regina, and we're going to put that inside a word for fitting. Oh, I'm thinking an opening would be an aperture, especially in a camera. And so I think fitting is apt, and we put the queen inside apt. Yes, and then we're left with URE, and certain would be sure, but it loses small, which is abbreviated to S. So there we go, we have our aperture. Oh, settler's kennel, 10 dogs. Now, is that going to be a reference to 10 across, which in turn refers to another number? I wonder if there's a little theme today of numbers. No, they seem to be the only ones. Settler's kennel, 10 dogs. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be dogs. It might be breeds of dogs. I'm wondering if we put 10, which could be X, speaking of Roman numerals, inside some kind of settlers, and that will give us a breed. Oh, that in fact it does. The Afrikaans settlers in South Africa were the Boers, and if we put an X inside that, we get boxers, which are dogs. Where to find roses in county? Ooh, well, the county I'm thinking that would fit is Kent, but I don't know what that has to do with where to find roses. other than ken means to know. I don't know, does that also mean to find? Do you ken John Peel? Otherwise, I don't know where to find roses in county. No, let's go back to the crosses. Here was 10, which has nothing to do with 3 down. Demo, initially lost, 950 in wood. All right, well, 50 is L, so I'm wondering if we also need to break this number apart, 9 plus the 50. I mean, 9 again, maybe we write out N-I-N-E, but demo, oh yeah, demo initially I think is going to be a D. And then lost, 950. No, in wood. It might be some kind of wood or some kind of tree. No, I'm not seeing it. All right, we have a lot of letters for this. Soldiers, detain king, over communist, supporters. I'm thinking it's going to mean supporters, and I am thinking of a clothing supporter, a garter. Can I make garters work? What would the soldiers be? And they detain a king over. Communist is usually red. What is there another? Yeah, I like garters as supporters, but I cannot see any of the wordplay. Yeah, in fact, soldiers I think is probably more likely, given the G, to be GIs. Yeah, so I think it's just coincidence there's another word that sort of fits, but it doesn't match the wordplay. All right, but I do think that's going to be an S, because whether it means soldiers or it means supporters, it's plural. So then it wouldn't be Kent. Where to find roses? Kew Gardens, in county. What other county? Oh, there is the county, of course, of Bedfordshire, which is known as Beds for short. Don't ask me why. And you would find roses in flower beds. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Ooh, how about one reviewing moon, star, and limits of double quasar? I'm wondering if moon, star, I'm thinking reviewing might indicate an anagram. We had representing the other day as an anagram indicator, representing. I think this might be similar, reviewing. The only reason is I know I've seen clues before that referred to moon, maybe even star, and the answer was astronomer, which has all of those 8 letters. And then we need, we need ER. And so the limits of double quasar are the last letters of both words, so the E and the R. I think that's one where it helped me that I've seen a very similar clue before, and miraculously it stayed in my memory. And so I think the entire clue gives the wordplay, but then you have to go back and read it to see the definition. Well, someone who reviews all of these heavenly bodies would be an astronomer. So that is, I've seen it called an andlit, or I've also seen clue as definition, CAD. But I think it's an andlit in this case. All right, more glamorous bird, perhaps circling tree. I'm thinking the definition is more glamorous. And we're going to have a bird, perhaps. Maybe, does that mean maybe an anagram of bird? And that is going to circle, is it going to circle a type of tree? Yeah, I think we need more for that one. A game of golf described by newlywed. Oh, and why is newlywed hyphenated? Is the word newlywed? I'm trying to think, the newlywed game on American television, I don't think it was hyphenated. Anyway, game of golf. There is the old joke about the guy on the desert island, and a woman pulls up in a rowboat, and oh, it's a long joke, but at the end she says something like, how long since you played around? And he says, oh, have you got a set of golf clubs in there? So I'm wondering, could it be a round game of, but I don't know, a game of golf described by newly wed? No, I don't see it. Pastry delivered for loafer. Well, a loafer would be a shoe. Oh, delivered, I think, might be a homophone indicator because there is the CHOUX. So the way pastry is said would sound like the shoe, I think. All right, so now our demo. Does this begin with a D? Lost 950. No, I still don't see that. Let's try this one. Social worker first, punches, intelligent, support. I'm thinking worker first is the W at the start of worker. And then a word. Oh, punches actually might mean goes in the middle of intelligent. And then do we put a word for support after and the whole thing means social? Or we put a word for social and then all of that wordplay and it's going to mean support. No idea. All right, back to the crosses. Engineers, uranium inside remains. Yeah, I'm not sure. Uranium has 7 letters, but we can't just anagram that because we should have an E at the end if shoe is right, which I'm not 100% sure of. But then I think maybe engineers, of course, can be the Royal Engineers, so maybe it's RE, and then there's something for uranium that goes inside and it means remains. I do think of the word residue, which would be remains, but well, yeah, I'm not. I was thinking, oh, is it an anagram of inside plus U? But no, we have that R. Yeah, so I think this might be a lift and separate of the word inside. We might have to say, yeah, the engineers are the RE, so that E is for the Royal Engineers. There is side with uranium inside. So that's exactly what I was saying earlier about having to be prepared to break everything apart, even though it goes against everything you learned in school how to read. That's what makes it so tricky and so wonderful, of course. You ignoramus, her reckless budget ends in disaster. So I see the word ends, and I'm wondering if we take the ending letters of some of these words. Well, of course, there's a very obvious person who comes to mind whose reckless budget ended in disaster, and that was Liz Truss. Um, yeah, I'm not exactly sure, though, how we're getting this. If I'm looking at the last letters, we do have a U, an S, an R, another S, and a T. And so I think we do have to take the ends of those 5 words, and then in disaster is telling us to anagram them, and and then the whole thing is the definition again, an andlit or a clue as definition, whatever you want to call it. So I think that's when we're getting the right answer is probably fairly straightforward if you've been following British politics. Um, but then trying to work it out, that was very tricky. All right, thinks about fireman's red is no Chippendale revealed. Wow. Um, thinks about I'm wondering if it, oh, it might be wondering. That would actually fit. Or pondering. But what is fireman's red? I know there's a, fire truck red or fireman's red, and then is no Chippendale revealed. Chippendales, I think, is the male strip club or whatever, like, what was the famous film? I can't think of the name of it. Oh, the Full Monty, of course. Yes, but then of course also the Chippendales furniture. Um, is no Chippendale. Is it hidden inside? Is it a hidden clue? No, I don't see it. What if that started with a G? Deferral of South American allowance. I think deferral might be the definition, and somehow it's something to do with South American and allowance. Yeah, it could be some South American nationality or gaucho. I'm just thinking of things with a G. No, let's skip over that. All right, this one goes all the way across. Joining record set to be broken following European investment opportunities. I'm wondering if, it has a lot of wordplay following European. Well, that might be following one of these 2 E's. And a record, of course, could be an EP. So I think the definition might be investment opportunities. But I can't think of. Yeah, I can't think of a 2-word phrase, EM, that would be investment opportunities. All right, trial by fire, axed to protect independent witness. I wonder if it is witness. There are certainly some words for a witness beginning with T. Or testament, testator. But Then what is trial by fire? Oh, maybe it is something trial by fire, like burning at the stake or something. Acts to, I think protect independent might be just an I for the independent newspaper. Goes inside something. No. I found this quite varied in difficulties. Some were straightforward, others were straightforward to get the answer, but complicated to explain it. And then I've run into quite a few here that I've no idea on. Anyway, college fellow left out of story in telegram. So it could be a 5-letter college. Rugby, maybe. Yeah, fellow left out of story makes me think we have a word for story that has an F, which can be an abbreviation for fellow, and then we remove the F from that. I'm thinking college might simply be C. Ah, yes, the story is a fable. So college is C, story is a fable, we leave it out, and of course, I should have thought a telegram is a cable. I don't know the answer to strikes. Make void. Oh my goodness. Something up. Something in. Yeah, I wonder if it's maybe a phrase where I don't know the answer. Oh, beats me would be something if I don't know the answer. Yeah, I think strikes might be. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, this is another very clever one. So the trick in this one, first of all, is knowing where to break the clue. And I just read, I don't know the answer. And I thought, there might be a 2-word phrase for that. And then, so to is really just a linking word, I think, connecting the 2 parts of the clue. Strikes is beats. And then the word make, if you void it or empty it out, you only leave the outer letters, which are M and E. All right, stained fabrics in draw, starting to discolor, of course. Oh, I wonder if it could be tie-dyes? It might be stained fabrics. But, yes, a draw in sports is a tie. Starting to discolor is the letter D. And if you say, of course, to someone, you're saying yes. And there's our tie-dyes. Let's try some downs. One's unhappy. Breaking leg outside in dance movement. Oh dear. One's unhappy might be an anagram of ONES. And then breaking leg outside might be an anagram of leg goes outside that. But that's only, well, 6 letters or 7 if you include the S. Breaking leg outside. Maybe the IN comes into it as well. A dance movement. I can't think. Let me pause and ponder. No, I'm not thinking it. How about shutting in criminal, maybe in top of jail? Well, we have that great B and Y there. Shutting in. I am wondering, because of the position of the Y, if it is going to end then in ing, not lobbying, or maybe in top of Jail. No. Remained sober as instructed. Wow. Well, I'm wondering if remained could be stayed. Ah, yes, and I think it's a very tricky homophone. I think as instructed is saying as if somebody told you this verbally and they describe someone as sober, they might say they were stayed, S-T-A-I-D. Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah, this does look like some kind of, oh, maybe, testifier, maybe? Yeah, let's see, trial. Oh, I think trial is a test. By fire axed, I think that is an anagram of fire. I don't think I've seen axed before, but I think they mean in the sense of chopped up, and therefore the letters can be rearranged, and that does protect the I for independent. All right. Where did I stop here? Bishop leaves drinks after church in good health. Cheery, maybe? Oh, I think it's cheers. I think the church is CH, and then the drinks are beers, but the B for bishop, and that comes from chess notation, leaves, leaving ears, and then the whole thing, if you say to somebody good health as a toast, you might say cheers. Tricky. All right, West, starting to break up broadcast. Anything to do with Kanye? I don't think so. West, well, the starting to break is a B, and then up, broadcast. I wonder if up broadcast might be a reversal indicator. To broadcast can be to air, but I don't think BRIA is a word that means west, unless there's someone famous called Bria West that I've never heard of. No, how about Katy Perry? I see she's been in the news lately. Showing character. Well, we got a nice, easy hidden clue here. Starting with the T in Katy, we have type, which would be character. All right. Change the last word down. Oh, that's a nice, straightforward clue, I think. The definition is to change. The last word in a prayer, for example, would be amen, and down can be abbreviated as D. Language earns poet bucks. Is it going to be a language? That would seem the most likely. Earns. Oh, yeah, so it might be actually an anagram of earns poet. Bucks, in this case, might be telling us to buck those letters. I'm going to use the anagram helper because it's late at night. I need a little bit of help. Let's shuffle those. Oh, Esperanto. Not the language. I was thinking it's funny it doesn't end in the usual IAN, but now I understand why. There we go. Looks like that is an ING. Shutting in. Lobbying. No, I don't see it. Okay, what's this west then? Starting to break up broadcast. Yeah, I can't think of another word for west. No. Ooh, we do have. Yeah, I think it is something side, dance movement, flip side. Oh, no, I'm wondering now if the definition is one's unhappy. I don't see a word for it, but I'm just thinking dance movement might explain why we have a D here. So maybe we have breaking leg. Well, then it's sort of a little contradictory. Outside might mean the broken leg goes around the outside, but then in dance movement. Yeah, I'm very confused. Either way, I think there will be should be an leg put somewhere. Yeah, maybe the E would go here. Oh, one's unhappy. I wonder if there's an SAD. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's Sade, but is there some dance move that ends in SADE? Oh, I think there's a glissade. Don't ask me what that is. I think I'm going to look it up. It is a gliding step in ballet. There we go. So yeah, I was thinking one's unhappy, we would anagram one, but no, it's one is IS, and then sad, literally sad for unhappy, and that does go inside the anagram of leg. Ooh, we do now have a nice G there. So it's either joining, but I think it's going to be investment. Oh, an emerging market. Our emerging markets, I think, are investment opportunities. How does the wordplay work? Joining, I think, might be merging, and oh, there's set to be broken is the ETS. Following, oh, sorry, I've skipped over record. I think is record, and if you record something, you mark it, and then the anagram of set to be broken, and all of that follows the E for European. There we go. Sorry, it took me a while. Ooh, now our shutting in. Oh, is there some word? Enbaying? Putting something in a bay of some kind? Or embryoing, like embryo? Or shutting in. Oh, criminal maybe might be telling us to anagram maybe. Then I think in is in, and top of goal would be the G. So I think it must be an anagram of maybe that would be embaying. Not a word I've heard of. Let me pause and check the definition. Yes, to put, shelter, or detain in or as if in a bay. All right. This was our social worker. Unfortunately, we just have an N and some vowels. First punches intelligent. Intelligent support. If there is a W in this, where would the W go? Here, perhaps, after some kind of opening like a con or... no. All right, what's another one I can maybe get this? Deferral. All right, I thought about it for a little while and then I had to go to wordplays.com, put in the length and the letters I had. There's about 10 possible answers, but I saw suspension and I thought, oh yeah, that might be a deferral of something, could be a suspension. South is S, American is US, and allowance is a pension. There you go. I don't think many of us would think of pension as the first synonym for allowance, but there you go. So this then is, it's not pondering, but yeah, so thinks about, I would imagine, is the definition. Oh, how about considers? Let's try, oops, considers, it's the right length. Fireman's red, well, we do have red backwards. Oh, and we have is no. Ah, oh, it is a hidden clue in reverse. So I think maybe thinks is the definition, because I think about is telling us to turn all the following verbiage around, and then revealed within it, starting with the C in Chippendale, we have considers. Very tricky. All right, so now our social, is it going to be the word like convivial or con something or other? I do think maybe con W. Our first maybe is IST or, but punches intelligent support. Yeah, I'm not. Let me pause and think, but I think I'm going to have to go back to wordplays for this one. All right, I did have to go to wordplays.com, and I'm very glad I did it. I would never have thought of this word. Of course, I had the wrong end of the beam, but the answer is cantilever, which is a support. Intelligent is clever, which goes around the outside. And it is punched by the social worker is an ant. Oh my goodness, that is so tricky. I think we have seen it before, and I didn't learn that one. Didn't learn, excuse me, my lesson, but I will try and remember that again. Social worker can merely be an ant. First is an I, and then that is punching or going in the middle of clever to give cantilever as some kind of support. All right, let's try and get 22 down. West starting to break up. I wonder, maybe because cantilever just put it in my mind, but I'm wondering if broadcast is beam. Yes, so it's May West, MAE, and the starting to break is the B, and all of that goes up or is reversed. There we go. Yeah, so I think Chaos probably did that on purpose, putting in cantilever and beam. We do have a stay. I think that's another kind of support. Oh, and suspension. There's weightiest. Yeah, I'm not sure if there are any other words. I don't know if a shoe maybe has some kind of engineering or construction meaning. Anyway, we'll see over at 15 squared if this is a real theme or if I'm just seeing ghosts. That's very possible. All right, let me ponder again what other word other than garters might fit this. I would like it to be GIs. Detain. King might simply be the R. Over communists. Over communist. Oh, that might be. Oh, yes. So it is GIs. R is the king. And then I thought, oh, communist has to be turned over. So instead of being a red, it's DER. And I think there is a theme, and we have girders. So could this be related to the theme in wood? Birch, maybe, but I don't know where the demo initially. I think there must be a D. All right, how about more glamorous? Oh, glossier would be nice, but how would that work? Would it work at all? Bird, perhaps. Circling tree. I don't see a tree in there. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Oh, here's our game of golf described by newlywed. Oh, D something E. Could it be double DLE or NDLE? Yeah, let me pause and think about it. I did think of the word bridge, and I suppose part of my brain was thinking game, and in fact that is the definition. Again, it's just our mind reads game of golf. It reads so naturally that we keep it together. But the definition is game. Golf is the phonetic, or not the phonetic, the NATO alphabet word for G, and that is described by, and one of the meanings of described is surrounded by a newlywed, which in this case is a bride. So maybe the, yes, I think it is a larch. I think a demo, as in a political demonstration, could be a march. And it initially lost 9. Well, I think the 50 is the L. But what's telling us to lose? Oh, yeah, I suppose initially. So a march initially lost is arch. But I don't get the 950. So we'll have to look at 15 squared for that. That beats me. And so I'm left with glossier. Might be right. More glamorous is the definition. Bird, perhaps. Could that be girl? It could be a bird in slang. And we do have GL. Well, the E is in the wrong place, but we do have GLIR, girl. Perhaps circling tree. Let me go ahead and check this one. No. Oh, how about flashier? Yes. A flyer is the bird, perhaps, and it is circling an ash. Let's check that. Yes. All right, let me make a note. I got one wrong there. All right, let's check all. Oh, what happened there? Did I just mistype? I'll have to check the tape. I suspect I just had a typo on the word type. That's embarrassing. All right, let's head over to 15 squared and see what they have to say. All right, the blog today is by Manehi. Slightly hurried, enjoyed it. There is a theme around bridges and supporting structures, all right. So, yeah, I had a question on 9, but, I think it's just impressing, which, yeah, just goes around. Yeah, so Manehi doesn't pay too much attention to that. Oh, oh my goodness. So last 950, oh, that is very clever because it had the initial was an M for 1,000 and then goes down to L. It becomes that it's only, or it loses 950 in value from 1,000 to 50. Oh, wow. I do applaud that. All right, I think I got this definition and an anagram or disaster of the end letters from. So Manehi doesn't say andlet, but I think that's what it is. Merging, da 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 da. Yeah, I think I followed all of the downs. Again, astronomer doesn't say anything about it being an andlet, but I think it is. Oh, Bunnycheetah thinks this might irk the purists. Maybe, but and younger solvers may be baffled by Mae West. Yeah, I would imagine Mae West is still someone with cultural currency, but I could be wrong. Yeah, maybe they've never seen or heard her. Anyway, yes, I won't spend too much time scrolling through the comments here, but I did enjoy it. Yeah, the 950 trick was clever. All right, well, as always, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.